Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio here on a Monday morning. It's Monday morning quarterback after we saw what happened on Sunday in the NFL. Welcome into the show as we are set and ready to kind of get an idea of what you thought about Sunday's games, kind of get an idea about where the NFL is, and going from week number 3 of the NFL to where we are today. At the end of week number 3, we were wondering what we were going to get from the Bills in reality, how Josh Allen would do. He had a great week 3, and on 5 trips to the red zone, this guy puts up 35 points, and they needed every single point of those in order to get the win. Tom Brady, he was really sharp. Would he be sharp in week number 4? Week number 3 was really good for him. The Lions get their first victory with the Arizona Cardinals. Would they take that into week number 4? Don't know. Kyler Murray, would he bounce back of having one of those pump the brake moments? Is he really good? Is he not? Big question. How was Nick Foles going to handle it? And he came in just like he has done in the past and played very well. With Mitchell Trubisky down, the Bungles get the tie. How would they reply? How would the Eagles reply? Interestingly enough, the Rams playing from behind, what would they do? How would they finish it up? Interesting things that happen. Phillip Rivers got his 400th touchdown pass last week in week number 3. How would he follow that up? How would the Carolina Panthers do after they get their first win of the season? And would we see the same Dwayne Haskins, a guy that hadn't seen an interception that he hasn't liked, and where it's at? So, and the Titans not playing, and I was misinformed when we came onto the show. I was not necessarily misinformed. My assumption is they were not going to play, and I'm talking about New England and Kansas City. They're going to play tonight, right before the Monday Night Football on ESPN. So that game will be seen in prime time on CBS, the Kansas City New England game. Just to let everybody know, not counting, obviously, that game and Monday Night Football, I picked up 9 points along with Bryce. So far, I was the one that was having a good week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the guy who was in the lead picked up 7. So that being the boss, Dennis Clark. Let's see, Tarvin only got 5 and Cuervo only got 7. So myself and Bryce kind of cleaned up, made up some ground as far as where the standings were. So I'm really excited about that. So 2 more games to see what ends. And by the way, everybody is on, as far as our pick'em is concerned, everybody's on Kansas City. Everybody is on Green Bay. So I made up some points with Cuervo, kind of moved ahead of him by 1 in the standings, really caught up with Tarvin, tied him up in reality. I'm still a little bit behind the boss, DC, Dennis Clark, and Bryce is right there with me as well. So we are really close. We're, getting back into it. Now, we saw week number 3. What did you think of week number 3? Interestingly enough, a lot of people had, I had a good week. So that being said, why don't we just take a look at the standings? Now, obviously, this does not count tonight, the 2 games. This is obviously the Buffalo Bills stay undefeated. Chiefs play tonight. Steelers, that game was postponed, as well as the Titans. So obviously, they remain unbeaten. The Packers remain unbeaten until tonight. We'll see how it is. But the Bears, they went down last night. Seattle remains undefeated as well. So, interestingly enough, when we saw these games, there was a lot to take away from them. And I'm going to start in Dallas, obviously, since I'm down here as far as the local gig here. I just don't understand Dallas Cowboy fans. I never will. I actually got out of the Dallas Cowboy fan group on Facebook. I just couldn't stand it anymore. I mean, because they expect to go out and win every single game. And I'm not even joking. Okay? They expect to win every single game. That defense for the Dallas Cowboys was disgusting. And of course, when you start getting behind, now granted, Dak had one bad fumble. That did not lead to points, by the way, the first one. Second one did. Or vice versa, 1-2. One of them did not lead to points. But they lost by more than that. And Dak Prescott threw out of his mind. He's the first player to throw for over 500 yards in 3 games straight in NFL history. He's on top on every stat as far as offensive stats are concerned. And Dallas Cowboys, it's garbage time. No, it's not. When you're fighting from behind, it's not garbage time, especially when they're trying to get back in the game. And if they would have won that game, that would have been the best comeback in NFL history during the regular season. So when the Dallas Cowboys took on Cleveland, now granted, listen, I'm never going to pick the Browns because I don't like their quarterback. I know it's horrible. Unless they're playing a really stinky team that they might get the opportunity to win, I might look at it. But when it comes to football teams, I'm not going to pick them. Now, that wasn't the case here. The Dallas Cowboys are a better football team than the Cleveland Browns. You can sit there and we can argue this back and forth, but you would be wrong. The Dallas Cowboys are definitely a football team that has a lot of talent. And I was reading an article today, this morning. I forget where it was. It made me so angry. They said the problem with the Dallas Cowboys is Jerry Jones. Well, here's what I think I know. They go to Jerry Jones all the time that you don't see him on the phone. There's no way of transmitting him down there and saying, this is what I want. He may go down in halftime and say, this is what we need to do. But he's not the one that's executing the plays, okay? He's got the team. He put it together. The team is what it is. And by the way, they got some good talent except for the defense. So they definitely died when it come to getting defensive players. That having been said, this game was all about the defense not playing well. The coaching staff is, that's a Jerry Jones problem, but still the plays have to be executed. The defense has got to stop someone. Kellen Moore is the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL today, period, bar none. You can say whatever you want about all the other ones, and I got one over in Atlanta. I don't know. I think I'd probably rather have him. That being said, the Dallas Cowboys right now run defense. It's pathetic. Dearness Johnson ran against the NFL's crappiest defense. Cleveland had a total of 307 yards on the ground. Yeah, this is Dak Prescott's fault. See, it's the reason why I cannot, Dallas Cowboy fans, they're entitled. They think they know everything, and they're completely idiots. The complete bunch of idiots have no clue what they were watching in front of them. Dak Prescott someone's got to make a play. Dak Prescott was trying to do it. So, the Dallas Cowboys have their problems. There's no question about that. Whether it's the front office, if that's what you think. And one of the big story, hey, maybe they were playing fantasy football. Yeah, they got a great offense. They got a great run and everything. So if you have Dak Prescott, if you have Zeke Elliott and all these other guys, hey, you did good. But here's the problem. And as much as I like C.J. Lamb, I said there were 2 places that the Dallas Cowboys needed to draft. Number one, no one agrees with Sonny on. They should have went offensive line. to protect that quarterback. The quarterback been running all over the place. Dak Prescott can't get help to save his life. So that's number one. Then, where were the linebackers? Where were the secondary picks? They weren't there. If you were not going to go offensive line, which the Dallas Cowboys should do each and every year, I've said it before, I'll say it again. But here's the problem. When the Dallas Cowboys are where they're at, someone's got to make the play. So some people will look at it and go, wow, they got a great offense. It's explosive and everything else, but it's also a little bit careless and reckless. Little reckless. No one wants or cares about an interception going into halftime, trying to get the ball in the end zone or whatever the case may be, or at the end of the game. No one cares about that. So just put those to the side, because those were definitely something that we saw on Sunday with the Dallas Cowboys. But they were down 11 with a minute left to play. So you think about also a strip fumble from Ezekiel Elliott after a long run. Cleveland gets the ball. So when the Dallas Cowboys are going to get behind, Dak Prescott's going to put up some big numbers. Those numbers are not going anywhere. Just think about this, okay? Now, a lot of people say, trash. 1,690 passing yards, okay? You think about it, whether or not that they have time of possession or not. If it's a quick hitter or not, who cares? They get the yards, get down there, do whatever they got to do. But the Cowboys' defense is so bad. The offense, unfortunately, was not able to keep them out on the football field for long periods of time. But that still does not put it out there and say, well, you've got to be able to stop them. 71 plays. 34 minutes. The Dallas Cowboys are in a great division for them to be successful, okay? If they put it together and figure it out, but what do they have to do? I'm telling you right now, the part about Jerry Jones that I do think is correct is that he has Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. And when Mike McCarthy went in, that was a project that Jerry wanted. And Mike McCarthy, do you think Mike McCarthy, if this guy had his choice of offensive coordinators all over the NFL, do you really honestly think that he would have picked Kellen Moore out of all of them? Do you honestly think that a guy that is coming in, and I did not realize, I was looking at my notes, so I didn't even realize that the standings were still up. There I am. But do you honestly think for 2 seconds that Mike McCarthy wants Kellen Moore as his offensive coordinator? The answer to that question is it's not just no, it's a hell no.
I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so either, Al. But as bad as that defense played yesterday in reality.
Oh, that was terrible. Crazy knuckleheaded terrible.
Do anybody any good? Thanks for checking in. Everybody that wants to check in, you can go ahead and do that. It's on StreamYard. Thanks for talking. But the Dallas Cowboys are in their situation. They are where they are. And but the best division to be tied for first place in, it's got to be the NFC East. Pathetic. Here, I'll just put it back up. Just take a look at it where it's at. 1-2. 1-3, 1-3, and the Eagles with that tie, instead of losing to the Bungles, take over first place. Half game out are Washington and the Cowboys. Game and a half, Giants, they're 0-4. That's how pathetic this division of football is right now. No one has 2 wins. And every other division of football has teams in there that have at least 2 wins. Now, there's some teams that are 0-3. Obviously, Atlanta, they're going to go 0-4, by the way. And by the way, how Dan Quinn still has a job, we talked about it yesterday on the Couch Potato Sports Show. That being said, 9 to noon, we look at all the games. It's completely nonsense that they're 0-3 right now. The Jets 0-4, and they still have head coaches. Will Dan Quinn get fired after they get demolished tonight? And that's what okay. It's probably a mistake to say get demolished. Okay, because they'll put up points in the first 3 quarters and lose it in the fourth. And if they get the win, it will be a complete and utter shock, as everybody within our pick'em has Green Bay tonight. Now, granted, everybody had Arizona, although I was misinformed by the boss, by the way, and yes, so I'm blaming that pick on you. It was a beautiful day. I said, since it's raining, it's going to be bad weather. I don't trust Phillip Rivers. The boss, you messed me up because I was going to go Indy, and I should have. That would have put me at 10 wins, and I would have, but it is what it is. So now, the Dallas Cowboys have got some work to do in their own division of football, and they need to pick it up. So I still saw a football team that won't give up. And listen, you can get your ass handed to you week in and week out. It's how you get your ass handed to you. If you're just take a look at some of the other teams in the NFL getting their asses handed to them. Okay, they give up, and you can see it. Dallas Cowboys don't have a lot of give up in them. So I'll give them that. Tom Brady. How about this guy? Throws a pick 6, they get behind, and what does Tom Brady do? He becomes Tom Brady that we know. Throws a pick 6, and they were behind big time in this game. Leave it to the GOAT. That's right, the GOAT. There ain't nobody closer. There ain't nobody better. The GOAT is Tom Brady. Now, you think about that as far as where this team is, okay, within their own division. Flashback into it, I'll make sure I don't leave it up. But look where they're at in the division. They're on top of it, 3-1. This is no great big surprise to me. What is a surprise is the Saints, 2-2. I expected them to make 3-1 at worst, if not undefeated to this point. So that division of football is going to be interesting because now you have Teddy Bridgewater being the game manager that he is. And I've got some mad love for Teddy Bridgewater, and I was mad I did not pick him yesterday because Kyler Murray did not play very well. They go ahead and go into Carolina and lose. And I will tell you right now, I like the way Carolina is handling things. They're slowly moving into it. Now, guys, I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're the best team in the NFC South. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when you travel to Carolina, or if you're going to go nose to nose with Carolina, you better figure out how to stop the short game. You better figure out what you're going to give them and deal with the results of what you're going to give them, because that's what happened yesterday. Arizona gave Teddy Bridgewater anything he wanted in the short game, and he took advantage of it. Not only that, they broke some plays and ended up getting the victory. Arizona had no business losing that game in reality based upon the potential of what Kyler Murray is. So the fact of the matter is that Arizona has definitely took a turn back to the standing. Look where they're at. Arizona is 2-2, tied with the 49ers for third or last place. Division of football that's supposed to be the best. I think it is. 49ers decimated with injuries. I went ahead and picked them yesterday for the 49ers. Let's see here. San Francisco, yes, against Philadelphia. Philadelphia gets an incredible win. They needed it. I thought San Francisco figured out how to play with the injuries and come out with a victory, but unfortunately, that didn't happen on Sunday Night Football. So San Francisco dropped Sunday Night Football. I'm worried about that football team as far as health is concerned, And now that since everybody seems to have, their number based upon the fact that the injuries are everywhere, then that could be a very big problem for them. So watch out for them. Some other things that I took away, obviously Tom Brady being who he is, and back to the Dallas game, Odell Beckham Jr., when he shuts his mouth, and we were talking about this yesterday, this guy comes off, and guess what? He has a great game. Literally right now, as far as the touchdown in the red zone are concerned, every team will pretty much be, in reality, overmatched in the red zone when you got a guy like Odell Beckham and making the plays that he did, that 40-yarder. Right now, he's one of the best that you can get with the ball in his hands. So watch out for Odell Beckham. He's got some off-the-field problems I'm not going to talk about. But as far as on the football field right now, he's looking pretty good. And I do like the fact that I'm not hearing from him all the time. So, Josh Allen, how about this guy? I talked about the roller coaster ride. Normally, when you talk about performances in football, when someone says roller coaster ride, that's not a good thing. No, Josh Allen makes it look easy. He makes it look great. He makes it look fun. The Buffalo Bills on top of the division on the AFC East. Now, guys, the last time that we talked about that has not been ever. But Bills 4-0, Patriots are 2-1, and they're not playing this week. So you got to watch that within the standings. So they're not going to play this week. So we'll see what happens as far as the Patriots are concerned. But the Jets and Miami, not good football teams. So watch out for the Buffalo Bills. Could this be their year? I don't know. I want to see more from them. I want to see more consistency. I want to see less roller coaster, more consistency. And listen, when you're winning football games, you can afford to take chances. And Josh Allen, he'll do it. You saw it last week. Joe Burrow. Guys, I picked Cincinnati yesterday to beat my Jacksonville Jaguars. My Jacksonville Jaguars are god-awful. And I wish and I hope that people that I know, can I finally say that Gardner Minshew sucks? Please, can you guys agree with me? It was almost as bad as people realizing that Eli Manning sucks. They're giving this guy way too much time. But Joe Burrow, okay, had some help with Joe Mixon. No question. That ground attack and the catch out of the backfield, great. Jaguars defense didn't have an answer to it. Miles Jack played pretty well, but take away from that, the Jacksonville Jaguars are who I told everybody who they were. They lose everybody on the defensive side of the ball. They go someplace else, and they think Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback. Sad, sad, sad. Colts defense and Phillip Rivers and the Bears. The Bears. Bears. Did they play good yesterday?
I don't think so, Jim.
They didn't. I know they didn't. Did that defense play really good for the offense play really good for the Chicago Bears?
That was terrible. Crazy knucklehead terrible.
Absolutely not. But if Mitchell Trubisky was in there, it might have been uglier. Might have even been completely and utterly uglier. But here's what I think about the Chicago Bears, which, by the way, I picked them. I missed that game. I didn't miss a lot of them. I missed the Chicago game, the Arizona game, and the San Francisco game. I got all the other ones right. But Nick Foles, when Cuervo said it not more than a month ago, when this guy has it handed to him, he's got to start. Sometimes he's not all that good. I'm going to give him a break in reality because they just threw this thing on him. and give them this time. We'll find out how the Bears do next week before I really come and think about what the Bears are going to be. As you know, we can make fun. The Bears are who we thought they were, and right now, maybe they are. Looking at the standings and the NFC North, Bears right now 3-1. Take their first loss, which, by the way, that's not necessarily the game that you want to lose if you're the Chicago Bears. Indianapolis is a good football team, and you need to beat good football teams. It's okay to lose to the really good football teams. Indianapolis is not there, and especially if you shake Phillip Rivers, that guy could be a problem. So thinking about how that looked, the Colts, they're not in the worst shape as far as the standings are concerned. Go back to the standings. Look where they are in the AFC South. Colts are 3-1, right up there. They're going to be fighting with it. How it's ugly. How did Justin Herbert do? Well, guys, I'm going to tell you, the Chargers are a pretty good football team with that cat in there. Definitely better than the guy who replaced the guy who punctured his lung. His name's slipping my mind. That just goes to show that guy, you got to keep Justin Herbert in there. I'm going to tell you right now, he smoked a pretty good, Tampa Bay defense on the road, overcoming consistent pressures from everywhere, and they didn't have a running game. So think whatever you want. I like Justin Herbert. That guy's gonna be something. But think about some of the things that are from that game. Looking really good in the first half. The Bucs were completely expecting. You think about this. As the Bucs really in reality weren't expecting to see the blitz as much as they did in the first half, that football team adjusted to that. There's a 4-man rush, and they were all over him. And in the second half, they had that completely figured out. Then Tom Brady took over that game. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Say whatever you want. Mike Zimmer's defense in Minnesota made him sweat it out. But you think about this, another fourth quarter long touchdown late in the game made him sweat it. Overturned review on the Texans, but the Texans are bad. Oh, my word. Especially the defensive side of the ball. There's another guy that's on the hot seat, which, by the way, I don't know how has a job. Because if it was me who owned that team, in that playoff game after they gave up that lead to the Kansas City Chiefs, would have went down the elevator and said, here, I'm just going to give you some money to take a different airline ticket home or go rent a car and get home. I don't want to see you. That's what Bill O'Brien is. And they start off 0-4. Oh, this is a great big surprise. Not only that, Deshaun Watson getting all of his money. Rightfully so, I guess. Hasn't earned a penny of it right now. Is 0-4. You're making the amount of money that guy's making. That is huge. I don't know. Dwayne Haskins, I don't know. Is he on the right team, wrong team? I don't know. The Washington football team is not a good football team. Dwayne Haskins is right now not a good quarterback. He has some highs, and then he's got a lot of lows. But he did go up against a very good Baltimore defense. So making decisions and how you're going to do it, you're 50-50 at best. I don't know. Throwing the ball a couple of yards short of the first down, saw that a lot. That's what young quarterbacks do that are not that good in the first place. I don't know. I wanted to see Dwayne Haskins be a good quarterback in the NFL. I really, really did. Derek Carr throws a touchdown, number 151, overtaking Kenny Stabler for the franchise record. Oakland LA/Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. Great milestone for him. I gotta make sure. Yeah, I did it again. Great milestone for him. But Derek Carr's not that great football player. Or, I don't know. Is he great or not? I don't know. But what I do know about the Las Vegas Raiders, okay, is that they're a football team that tries to stay in games. They were home against Seattle, and you had the best quarterback come in there and just, and they had a chance to win that game. Seattle just didn't go away. The MVP right now, again, still, after 1 week, it was not necessarily Russell Wilson. But after week number 2, week number 3, yes, it was. And guess what? He just proved it again, how badass he really is. Russell Wilson is the bomb. I like me some Russell Wilson. This is a guy that makes a big, big difference on your football team. And when you look at the standings, and I won't leave it on as much as I did. I just keep forgetting. Right up there, 4-0. Rams right behind them, 3-1. Rams got a good victory yesterday. And I don't necessarily know what a lot of people felt about it, but it was across the board Rams. They were able to come back and win a football game that they probably should have lost. And that tells you something about the football team. When you get to that point, you got to have gumption. And they have gumption. There is no question. You could have laid down, been done with that. They didn't, and the results are a W over with Rams. I don't know if I'm impressed or more so that, looking at a football team, if you're going to sweat it out really good. And they did. I like exactly what I saw out on the football field from them. So, just some other things that I'm looking at as far as the football teams are concerned. Jason Garrett and the Giants, what did you expect in New York? Really, I mean, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fans, you know what's going on there. Not really, really, really good. By the way, and just back to Houston really quick, because I had it on my notes here, very erratic. This is not a consistent football team as far as the Texans are concerned. Matt Patricia defense folds, not holds, folds after getting the first victory last week against the Arizona Cardinals, the Detroit Lions at home. They go ahead and take a loss against New Orleans, but then again, it is New Orleans. But this is a game in reality that when you looked at the quarterback position in New Orleans, everybody talking about Drew Brees, this is a game that Drew Brees needed. But the defense for the Lions, you think about, and they started off the game, right? If I'm not mistaken, they got a quick deflection interception. So they were looking pretty good. The short-handed Saints, they didn't have Michael Thomas out there. After that deflection, the Saints went off for 5 consecutive touchdowns in Detroit. 5 consecutive drives. After that pick, they were out there. They went 10 of 14 on 3rd down, 1 for 1 on 4th down, by the way. And the Lions defense couldn't get off the football field. That's what Drew Brees does. That's what makes them top 5 in the NFL, even though their record is what it is. Dolphins only kicking field goals, not going to do you well. Hey, you got Ryan Fitzmagic, the worst nickname in the NFL history, by the way. The worst nickname. So, you think about this, okay? They were playing pretty well, okay? All afternoon. 1 possession gains for most of the game. Then Miami ended up kicking 5 field goals, including 2 in the red zone. It's not going to get the job done. And Russell Wilson just becomes who he is, which is big stuff. By the way, Jalen Ramsey, is Jalen Ramsey a badass, or is that guy a badass? Woo! I don't know. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of stuff. Again, guys, watch yourself a little bit of Josh Allen. Guys playing really. I'm not going to put him in MVP status. A lot of people want to. I'm not going to do that because of the up and down stuff. Huge stuff there. I did like the fact that I see Aaron Donald get a little chippy, I guess you could say. If you saw that, you got. I like that. Aaron Donald, man, that guy's a badass. Too bad he plays for the Chargers. So watch out for that. That's something to work out. By the way, I didn't hear about it, but I saw it. The Jalen Ramsey Golden Tate brawl. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's a badass, but man, oh man. After the game, they evidently got into it. I didn't see it because Red Zone won't put that on there, but I did see it on the replays of stuff online. So, interestingly enough. So, what do you want to think about this week, guys? You want to think about the Arizona Cardinals and the head coach? Do you think the GM went out on the limb to get up Cliff Kingsbury and put him with Kyler Murray so he could mold them? I don't know. Year number 2, this partnership, it started off pretty well. Now you drop 2. So you're at 500 in a very tough division of football anyway. Unbelievable. Are the Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the best in the NFC? I didn't say the best. I'm not going to put them because I think the Packers, Seattle, they're probably the top 2. But listen, the Buccaneers are not that far away. And listen, wouldn't it be great to see a Chiefs-Buccaneer Super Bowl in Tampa? So, who knows? Interestingly enough. Guys, that's really all I got. I mean, I just wanted to hop on here and talk about some of the things that I see on Sunday. Pretty interesting games going on tonight. Kansas City and New England. New England, Brian Hoyer, the worst backup quarterback. You want to talk about a guy that's made a lot of money off of 4 football games that didn't matter for the Cleveland Browns, and he has just been cashing in ever since, Brian Hoyer. He's going to get the start for the New England Patriots. They don't have a snowball chance in hell to beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Stone. They had a chance with Cam Newton. And listen, I'm not a Cam fan, okay? Listen, that's sad news. When you lose your quarterback to coronavirus and you're in a dogfight right now with the Buffalo Bills for the division, and then it's going to be questionable if you make the playoffs if you don't win the division based upon some of the other teams that are playing well in the AFC. Remember, you get the top within the North, South, East, and West, and then you get two wild cards. So if they don't win the division, they're going to have to fight some of the teams that, whether it's Baltimore, Pittsburgh, one of those 2 teams, that they're going to have to fight for. I don't think you're going to have any problems with the AFC South, or even for that matters, you look at the West. Okay, you got Kansas City over there. Oakland's trying to fight for one. This might be the worst AFC football I've seen in a long time. Although Kansas City's still doing what they're doing, Buffalo coming off the top, but some of the teams that are supposed to be good are not good. So we'll watch for that for the rest of the season. So, guys, that's really much all I have here. I just wanted to hop on, talk a little bit about what we got. Sunday night doubleheader, New England in Kansas City, and then the regular Monday Night Football game, Atlanta at Green Bay. Can Atlanta get off the schneid or will they lose? And will they have a coach on Tuesday morning? That's going to be the biggest question going through it all. Guys, I'm Sonny Clark. This is the Couch Potato Sports Show. This is Monday morning quarterbacking, getting a look at all the games that happen. Make sure you check us out every Sunday, definitely through football season. 9 a.m., we take you up to kickoff. We look at all the games that are happening in the NFL. Hope everybody has a great Monday. We will see you Sunday on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And that being said, see you later, everybody. Bye-bye.